I love Metroidvanias. It's just so fun to explore the maps, find secrets, and fight bosses. To me, the thing that makes Metroidvania so good is movement. The maps can be well designed and do play a big part in making it good, but if it ain't fun to get through, then to me personally, it ain't a fun game. What I really love seeing is a sequel to a game I enjoy playing getting a complete overhaul in the movement department. And today's prequel to sequel, I want to talk about Momodora, Reverie Under the Moonlight. Over to Momodora, Moonlit Farewell. Released in 2016, Reverie is the fourth installment in the Momodora series. Damn! And its sequel almost a decade later in 2024. There was another game released in that time span, but I won't mention it here in this video. With close to a decade, how much did the movement improve from Reverie to Farewell? Casually speaking, there are some notable additions, like a sprint and wall jump, which are nice, but that's all there seems to be. You still got the double jump like in Reverie, but it's an item upgrade now, similar to the sprint and wall jump. The double jump got a pretty huge buff in Farewell, being an actual double jump rather than a jump that just gives you more horizontal distance. We're first going to talk about the basic movements shared between the two games, first of which is the roll. Rolling in Reverie is the main movement option for going fast. However, rolling in Farewell has been nerfed in terms of spammability and movement, now having a noticeable slowdown at the end of the animation. Farewell introduces a stamina meter for Momo, and each usage of the roll eats about 1/3 of the stamina meter. Yeah, this does seem like a negative, but I think it's a great change. It adds thought to when you have to roll to maximize your stamina usage. Rolling off a ledge or doing a roll attack will be the best way to move quickly and preserve stamina, but it is much slower than Reverie. The roll jump does make a return in Farewell. By pressing jump and roll on the same frame, you could perform a roll jump. The jump input will be red and launch Momo or Kaho rolling into the air with the burst of speed and invincibility. I think rolling in Reverie has a lower skill floor, but it still has some use in movement for the entire game. But in Farewell, rolling becomes obsolete when you get sprint. Moving on to the next movement option that is shared between games, the double jump. The double jump clearly serves a different purpose in the respective games. Reverie doesn't lack verticality in its map design, but Farewell clearly has it more in comparison, warranting a much stronger double jump. The double jump in Reverie seems like it was developed with the intention of making platforming easier, rather than a main movement option. Think of it as like a correction tool, when you think you over or undershot a platform. The double jump in Farewell is a legitimate jump off of thin air. There's really not much to say about it. If you play a game with a double jump like this, then you already know how it feels. The height of the double jump can be altered by the length of the A press. On to the next option that is shared between games, attacking. I know this isn't necessarily a movement option, but boss fights and enemy encounters are a big part of these games, so it's only fair to talk about it a little bit. The jump attacks are completely different in these two games. Reverie has Kaho swing downwards and she has more drift when pulling back, making it a pretty good mid-range aerial attack. Momo swings her leaf horizontally and up to 2 times from a short hop, but she does have less aerial drift during the swings, even halting her momentum. I prefer the double swing in Farewell, but I still love the amount of drift you get in the air attack from Reverie. In Farewell, you get this somersault aerial attack if you run and attack after pressing the jump button. To be honest, in terms of combat, I don't care about this. It reduces your horizontal reach considerably and extends your vertical reach. There's not many chances in the game to use this effectively combat-wise. I will rather have a longer range on the X-axis rather than the Y-axis. Arrows aren't as mobile as in Reverie. In Reverie, you could face a direction and spam arrows to face the same direction and air strafe. You cannot do that in Farewell. That's it for the similar movement options shared between the two games. Let's talk about unique movement options, starting off with Reverie. In Reverie, there is the air dodge. I really like it. Movement and combat wise, the instantaneous burst of speed for a fixed distance feels really fun to control. In Farewell, there is no other substitute to this. Momo is more vertically gifted than Kaho, but Kaho makes up for it in horizontal coverage due to a lack of stamina. I do have a theory as to why the air dodge wasn't put into Farewell. Maybe having another move that consumes stamina at the same rate as roll probably hindered the effectiveness of a new ability Momo has, Lunar Atonement, since it relies on the stamina meter itself. I'm not trying to give you the wrong idea. Momo is not lacking horizontal coverage when grounded. But first, let's talk about one of the new movement options found in Farewell real quick. The wall jump. It's self-explanatory. When you're up against a wall in mid-air and press jump, you get the wall jump. You could do this infinitely off the same wall or move on to another wall and do the same thing there. Wall jumping will always give you back your double jump. And yeah, that's about it. Just another vertical movement option. The second unique movement option is sprinting. It consumes a large amount of stamina. It's obvious that this is your main way of moving horizontally quickly. And yeah, it does just that. It does use up a lot of your meter, so you can't use it for too long. Fortunately, there are other ways to actually conserve stamina and move as fast, if not faster. Usually, you would hold the run button to, well, run, but tapping it repeatedly is a good option too. You hardly move slower than holding the run button, and you conserve way more stamina. Another option is jump attacking from a sprint. For some reason, if you jump and continue to hold the sprint button, you will use stamina, even though you're not running. Letting go of the run button mid-air isn't a good option either, cause Momo just decided to not obey the laws of physics and slow down mid-jump. In short, momentum is not carried into a jump. Jump attacking completely halts the depletion of stamina. I'm not sure why, but it just does. Holding the run button and spamming short hop into a jump attack allows you to move at the same speed as normal running, but with greater stamina conservation. There is one more option, and it's the best option for moving fast, besides a certain sigil. In the lunar attunement state, Momo can run as much as she wants, just as long as she has meter within that state. While in this state, the stamina meter drains independently from rolling and sprinting. It only drains naturally or excessively from attacking. It is in this state Momo gets a unique burst of speed during the initial sprint startup. She is legit sliding like a Luigi wave dash. It's crazy. Holding left or right negates the speed burst, so you must press the sprint button at a standstill or after an attack to get this. To change the speed burst quickly, cancel the end of the animation by tapping left or right, then immediately pressing sprint again. At first, I was not a huge fan of sprinting, but after learning these techniques, it makes it more skill based and more fun to engage with. Now, I'll be awarding points to each category I made to either Farewell or Reverie, to see who has the better movement. This point goes to Reverie. The slowdown on Farewell's roll makes the roll more sluggish. I totally like the stamina meter integration, but just that slowdown, man, not a huge fan. 1 point to Reverie. I give this one to Farewell. There is nothing really to add. One just goes higher than the other. Reverie wins this point. There's a lot of control when attacking in the air, while Farewell completely halts your movement for a little bit. For this category, I'll be comparing the air dodge and the sprint. Farewell gets this category point. I personally prefer the variety of ways to use sprint rather than the air dodge having one basic use. Granted, it is one fun basic use. This category is for how the whole movement kit flows into one another, meaning how fluent it is to go from doing one action to another. So, what game has better flow? I give it to Farewell, and it's because of the double jump and wall jump. There aren't many obstacles that could really stop Momo. It's honestly so fun to burst your way through enemies and platform with some fast-paced wall jumps. Overall, I do believe Momodora Moonlit Farewell is an improvement in the movement department. There's obviously other areas of the game that have significant improvement, such as the visuals, but I just wanted to focus on movement for this video. My initial impressions of Farewell's movement was indifference. I thought the sprint was pretty much tacked on, but I'm glad to say it's definitely not. Leave it to me to talk about something niche in a niche series. I'm not quite sure who the target audience is. I guess I could say I'm doing this for myself. Well, that's it for the video. Next challenge run is hopefully Moonlit Farewell. Peace!